I got two things to go over. First is Hurricane Dorian and the National Weather Service trackers, hurricane trackers, exposed exactly the problem in this country when it comes to anyone on either end of the spectrum. But I am going to only hyper focus on Donald Trump and his followers, his loyalists. Okay? That's who I'm going to focus on because that's what's jacking things up the most. Now, I'm not saying that these establishment Democrats don't do any harm. No, they do just as much harm in their silence and lack of actually representing the people. But I'm going to hyper focus on this. Hurricane Dorian's original track was up northwest and then west, cut right across Florida, almost the same path Hurricane Andrew took. So we'll go right across Florida. A later track, slightly later track, says that it's going to go north Florida and across into Georgia, Alabama, possibly Texas, or just to piss you off, Tejas. That's what that was. That's the forecast. They look at the the lows, the high pressure fronts, and things like that. The steering winds, and as they shift and they develop and disperse, so will the track of the hurricane. That's how they do this. Oh, as well as the jet stream, which I think was a high one. I can't remember. But here's what happened. Trump saw those and he was like, oh, that's what it is. That's what's going to happen. And he looked no further. That's it. He looked no further. So when it came time, days later, and they realized the hurricane is going to take the classic route. It's going to curve with Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, up to New York and stuff, and then maybe up through Vermont, or maybe it'll curve out and, maybe it'll go out to, all the way over there to United Kingdom, or it could curve back down, circle back around, re-strengthen, and come back. But once it hit those colder waters, well, cooler waters, not cold or colder, but cooler waters, it should weaken greatly. I mean, like in a couple of days, if not just one day. Trump saw the first one and said, I'm going to run with it. Saw the second one. You know what? I'm going to run with it a little bit. The graph he had was of the third one, just before they confirmed its full curvature. Trump, his ego made sure that he just can't accept that he could be wrong on what he said before. And so he Sharpied it in, which jokingly everyone calls Sharpie Gate. All right. Now, he puts, it's on TV. It's national, in the White House, the primary office, where, can you hand me that? He gets it, shows it. He sharpies it in, saying it's going to go this way. And the guy next to him didn't even have the balls to say, this is sharpied in, we can't show this. He didn't have the balls to say, wait, no, the original curve is here, so it can't go. No, he didn't even do that. So he heard the first things and went with it. And then it exposes his arrogance that he just can't be wrong no matter what. So he's going to finagle anything and flat out lie, egregiously, federally lie. All right. He broke federal law. I'm going to get on that in a little bit. Now, this exposes Trump, and you think Trump is this bad. Trump screws up this bad, makes an error this egregious. His followers go with it. The followers, there has already been videos made where they say that the Democrats used a special weather satellite to change the direction of the hurricane just to make Trump look bad. There are people doing that shit. And I saw the videos and I thought they were just kind of oniony. I thought they were parodies. No, these motherfuckers is real. They are real. All right? They're real. So, that's what's going on, people. All right? That's what's going on. These people, the tribalism is so bad and so blind that these Trump followers can look at the weather. You know they watch the weather station. All right? They watch the Weather Channel. They watch their local weather stations and whatnot, their local news and things. And Hurricane Dorian is going to take a track to the northeast. Okay. Should be easy, right? You know, they've been listening to the news all this time, following it loyally. No. Trump says it's going to go right across and go right into Alabama. And they're like, news is wrong. Trump's right. If they haven't been doing that, then they would have definitely woke up to Trump and his stupid a long time ago. A long time ago. The farmers voted for Trump. Do you know what it took for the farmers to be iffy on Trump? The tariff war. The tariffs. Trump says, I'm going to do this tariff war. It's going to be quick. It's going to be easy. And the farmers are going to benefit. The farmers got jacked up the most, and they're like, I hope Trump can bail us out. And really what they should say is, I hope Trump can bail us out the shit he got us in. Trump is like, I ain't losing any money, not personally. I'm going to keep this war going. I'm going to win this war. We're going to win it. We're going to win the war. Then he started saying, I'm going to win the war. China's going to back down. And China's like, ha! Not only will I just increase the taxes and make you all pay more, but we're not even going to buy from you anymore and buy from someone else. And the Trump followers, the Trump supporters, blame China for this tariff war. And there's some on YouTube that just pop up in the damn feed before I log in. And they're saying that the Democrats are the ones causing this somehow. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we're all going to die hollering and yelling at each other, because there's too many stupid people supporting idiots and too many idiots running the country. That's the problem. It is a cycle of stupidity, and it can't end until the chain is broken. And you can't break the chain until you break these people if they're stupid. A third of the country says Democrat, and a small portion of them says progressives. Another third says Republican and nothing else, damn a Democrat. And another third says, I don't care. It'll be what it is. I don't like either party. They're both crooked. This is why we can't have nice things. Now, Trump, when he drew on that, he broke federal law. It's a brutal federal law that he broke. All right? It's egregious. He should be locked up, impeached, imprisoned, whatever the fuck. Out of there. Gone. But no, that's not going to happen. Why? Because of assholes like Kyle Kalinske. That's why. Now, listen. His show, he talks about it as, and the title of it is Trump Makes a Parody of Himself. And Kyle talks about this. And he's like, people talk about, he broke the federal law, this code and that code. He's like, and he makes the jack off motion. He's like, get over it, move past it. It's not serious. You know what? It is serious. The reason we have certain laws is because if they are not heeded to, things can go south real quick. That's why. Say it's a non-issue. You need to understand, if you know what, fuck it. He ain't gonna listen to this because Kyle's a fucking elitist anyway. You know, he'll be like, who are you? Who are you? You with your little subscribers. I already had some dumbass talk about some of my fading channel, which it can't fade because it was never big, dumbass. But when Trump says this hurricane is going to hit Alabama, and you got those people in Alabama and Georgia who are all like, I don't listen to the weather station. I'm going to listen to Trump because yeehaw. These people are the ones that will start making plans and evacuating and hollering at people to leave and all this other stuff without checking the news, period. Once Trump says it, It is law, and that's how it's going to be. And they will ruin everybody's day for days on end, trying to do some shit that they don't need to do. It will be a serious, unofficial, unnecessary evacuation of the stupidest kind. And they won't leave to a place that's going to help us be better because their stupid is gone. They'll just be gone doing stupid shit. So this is why you can't break these laws. That's why this law and this federal law is important. Because you can't change shit and give a false report especially when you are the president of the United States. You are the figurehead of what we should listen to. And when you make this shit, you cause hysteria. If Trump came on TV and simply said, we have learned that all black people have, Blackanemia. And if you get near them, you may get Blackanemia too. And this is why there is 1/8 of African American in some of our Caucasian friends. And they will lose their fucking mind. And everyone will go around talking about Blackanemia. And Trump will be like, haha, I got him. And then they'll call Trump out on his bullshit. And Trump will be like, fake news. And his followers will say, fake news, Blackanemia is real. Because they're fucking stupid. That's why you can't have shit like this go on. And that's why people like Kyle Kalinske and their elitist bullshit, when they say ignore it, no, you don't ignore things that can cause mass panic. Because if you got, let's say if President Obama came out and said, when he said, Trayvon, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin. And when the Republicans said, shut the fuck up, and he didn't, if Obama had said some shit like, I am ordering it now, executive order, that now all African Americans can own the same amount of weaponry and type of weaponry as their white counterparts, and there is nothing that anyone can do about it. I'm gonna push it to be federal law. If he had did that, imagine what would have happened. Imagine how people would have freaked the fuck out. You think a girl that just had a car wreck, heavily concussed, knocking on someone's door, and when she turns around, he blasts her in the back of the head with a shotgun? You think that was bad? Imagine what would happen when that shit happened. And the black people says, we can now get you back without the cops raining hell on us. That's the civil war that these white nationalists want. They want that shit. So stop the elitism. Stop the bullshit. All right? Hashtag Blackanemia. That's how we're going to roll with this, I guess. Because there's too much stupid in the world. And Kyle Kalinske is aiding it by undermining something that is very strictly important. You don't yell bomb on an airplane. You don't yell fire in a theater. You just don't. You don't yell, gun in a crowded area where cops are nearby. You just don't. You don't call cops on black people because they're just going to get killed. There are things you don't do. So, when Trump says the hurricane's going to hit this area and those people start preparing, if they did, it's going to cause a problem in certain little areas, major areas. It can cause a whole problem. You can't ignore that stuff and you can't undermine it. No one should. That's why we have these laws. Mr. Data Analysis, Mr. Data Miner, Mr. Political Analysis. He does this for a living and can't see how that could have been a very bad problem. Shame on you, Kyle Kalinske. You need to backtrack some shit. I don't know anything. Not really. And I know that. Step up your game, man. This is Sidra for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.